Welcome to Huberman Lab Essentials, where we dive back into our top episodes to unpack the most powerful, science-backed tools to level up your mental game, boost your physical health, and crush your performance goals. I'm Andrew Huberman, a professor of neurobiology and ophthalmology at Stanford School of Medicine, and I'm stoked to have you here. Upbeat music kicks in today. We're diving deep into neuroplasticity, the brain's superpower to rewire itself based on what you experience. This isn't just some cool science fact, it's the key to unlocking your ability to think sharper, learn faster, let go of tough memories, and adapt to whatever life throws your way. Let's jump in. All right, neuroplasticity, let's break it down. It's your brain and nervous system's ability to change itself, like a living, breathing upgrade system. You weren't born with a fully polished brain. Nah, when you came into this world, your nervous system was like a rough sketch. Connections all over the place, but not fine-tuned. Think of a newborn. They're flopping around, can't talk, can't walk, just vibing like a little potato with limbs. That's because their brain is a wide open web, ready to soak up experiences and mold itself into something unique. Your parents, your environment, the languages you learned, the places you went or didn't go, all shaped your brain into a one-of-a-kind masterpiece tailored to your life. Now, some parts of your brain are built to map the outside world, like what you see, hear, or smell. But other parts, they're locked down tight, and that's a good thing. Stuff like your heartbeat, breathing, and digestion. Those circuits are hardwired to be super reliable, so you don't have to think about keeping your heart pumping. Thank goodness, right? But the parts of your brain that can change, they're where the magic happens. As a kid, you could learn just by being around stuff. No effort needed. But after age 25, rewiring your brain takes some serious focus and a specific game plan. It's like your brain puts up a do not disturb sign unless you know the secret knock. Here's the deal, you can't just decide to change your brain. You've gotta unlock it with the right steps, like flipping a switch to put your nervous system into edit mode. And no, despite what you might have heard, your brain isn't sprouting tons of new neurons after puberty. Sorry to burst that bubble, but the good news, you can rewire the connections you already have, making them stronger or weaker to adapt to new skills, habits, or ways of thinking. It's all about creating the right conditions, chemically in your brain and environmentally around you, to make change not just possible, but likely. Kids' brains are wired to change like it's their full-time job. But as adults, we can still tap into that plasticity, especially when life throws curveballs, like losing a sense like vision or hearing. For example, people blind from birth often have their visual cortex taken over by their hearing or touch. Their brain rewires to make them superhuman at picking up sounds or reading Braille. There's even a wild story of a blind woman whose visual cortex was handling her hearing and Braille skills. When she had a stroke that damaged that area, she lost those abilities too. But over time, she regained some function, showing just how adaptable the brain can be. This tells us the outer layer of your brain, the neocortex, is like a custom map of your experiences, constantly updating to reflect your reality. Let me share a real story to drive this home. A few years back, I was at a course, not teaching, just learning like everyone else. This woman comes up to me and says, "Yo, Andrew, your voice stresses me out." I'm like, ouch, tell me more. She explained my tone reminded her of someone tied to a bad memory. Every time I spoke, she'd cringe. I couldn't change my voice, but I thanked her for being real. Over the 2-week course, she kept checking in, saying, "You know what? Just acknowledging it is making it less intense." By the end, we were buddies, and we still keep in touch. What's wild is that her brain started rewiring just by recognizing the issue. That's step 1 in neuroplasticity, awareness. You've got to know what you want to change, or at least know you want to change something. Now, let's get practical. Your brain doesn't just change because you heard a cool lecture or scrolled through X for an hour. That's a myth. Unless you're a kid, your brain needs a specific combo of neurochemicals to rewire itself. Back in the 90s, a grad student named Greg Ricanzone and his mentor Mike Merzenish at UX ran some dope experiments to prove the adult brain can change if you do it right. They had people feel a spinning drum with tiny bumps, some close together, some far apart, and asked them to press a lever when the spacing changed. Sounds simple, but it was tough, and it required intense focus. When people zeroed in on those bumps, their brain's touch map rewired fast, getting sharper at sensing those differences. But here's the kicker. If they were distracted, like listening for a sound instead, their touch map didn't change at all. This proves it's not just doing something that rewires your brain, it's paying attention to it. So, why does this happen? It's all about three neurochemicals: epinephrine, acadrenaline, acetylcholine from two brain spots, and a sprinkle of focus. Epinephrine comes from a brain area called locus coeruleus and gets you alert. Acetylcholine, released from the brainstem and a forebrain spot called nucleus basalis, acts like a spotlight, highlighting what matters. When these three team up, your brain doesn't just want to change. It has to. It's like hitting the save button on new connections. How do you make this work in real life? First, you need alertness. Get enough sleep. Seriously, master your sleep game. A cup of coffee can help too. Some people psych themselves up with big stakes, like promising to donate to a cause they hate if they don't follow through. Others do it for love, like learning a skill for someone they care about. Fear, love, anger, it doesn't matter. Your brain just needs that epinephrine kick. Write down a few reasons why you have to make this change. Mix some passion with a little fear of failing. Next, you need focus. Smartphones are focus kryptonite, so put that thing in another room. Here's a neuroscience hack. Your mental focus follows your visual focus. When you lock your eyes on one spot, like your laptop screen or a book, your brain releases epinephrine and acetylcholine, shrinking your world to a laser, sharp cone of attention. Practice this. Stare at a blank spot on your screen for 60-120 seconds. It'll feel weird, but it trains your brain to lock in. If you're blind or working with sound, close your eyes to create an auditory cone of focus. Pro tip: don't force eye contact when someone's trying to listen. It messes with their focus. How long should you focus? Aim for 90-minute bouts. That's the sweet spot for learning, tied to your brain's natural ultradian cycles. Don't stress if your mind wanders at the start or end. That's normal. The middle hour is where you go deep. Turn off Wi-Fi, ditch distractions, and keep dragging your attention back to the task. It'll feel intense, maybe even agitating. That's the epinephrine working. You're doing it right. Here's the final piece. Neuroplasticity doesn't happen while you're awake. It goes down during sleep. Those 90-minute focus sessions, they tag certain brain connections with acetylcholine, marking them for an upgrade. When you hit deep sleep that night, or the next, those connections lock in. Miss sleep, and you might miss the gains, but a solid night later can catch you up. Want a hack to speed things up? Try non-sleep deep rest NSDR right after learning. A 20-minute shallow nap or quiet session with your eyes closed can boost retention, as shown in a 2023 study in Cell Reports. It's like hitting fast forward on learning. To wrap this up, neuroplasticity is your brain's lifelong ability to evolve. Stay alert. Know when you're sharpest during the day. Get that epinephrine flowing with stakes that fire you up. Boost acetylcholine with visual focus or auditory for sound-based tasks. Practice 90-minute focus blocks, then chill with NSDR or mindless walks to let your brain process. And prioritize sleep to seal the deal. You've got the tools now. Go rewire your brain and own your growth. If you're digging this, support the Huberman Lab by subscribing on YouTube, hitting the notification bell, and dropping a comment. On Apple or Spotify, leave a 5-star review and share your thoughts. Tell your friends about the pod and check out our sponsors. They keep the science flowing. Thanks for vibing with us, and as always, keep chasing the truth.